Once again, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to fill the 3 minutes. I will try. As I said, I've been living in this town for 30 years, and generally I've been pretty happy with the government. I have nothing against the current members of the Board of Electrical Commissioners, Mr. Langille especially. I know how hard he's worked for the department, and I know how hard he's worked as a commissioner. But I feel that, in spite of my advanced age, I can bring a fresh perspective on some of the issues. As I said, technology is my main business, and I have the advantage of learning about the best practices of a lot of other businesses. Utilities are among the customers I work with, and I understand that, 100% reliability in utilities is what people consider okay. They don't think that, excuse me, they realize the importance of having electrical power, especially in this day and age with, everybody's working from home who can work from home. We need a reliable electrical system for that. Without it, it won't work. Paul Healy's business realizes that firsthand. And I haven't had any issues. My boss has not complained about me being offline. One of my customers also is communication, and they're being held to the same standards. So I intend to, as a member of the department, maintain that stellar reputation for reliability and service. I call the electric department, I get a person on that very rare occasion that I have a question. Try doing that with one of the other utilities. North Attleboro Electric is something I want to be a part of. I read after we've had major outages, you'll have towns like Rentham, people saying, we should have our own electric department. Like it's so easy that you just flip a switch. I want to be part of the electric department. I want to be part of its present overseeing management, and I want to be part of its future to show that it is truly a 21st century operation, and not just an example for how utilities are being run, but also how a town agency can be efficiently run for the sake of the taxpayers, the people who actually put the money into it. Thank you very much, Peter, staff at North TV, who's the best in the business. Peter, Paul, I just noted Peter, excuse me, I'm looking at Mike Kirby, I just read Peter. Mike and Paul, thank you very much for the questions, and thank you for having me here. Mr. Langille, thank you very much.
Thanks again. As I said before, longtime resident of North Attleboro, 64 years. I worked for the electric company for 33 of those years. I was voted in by you, the voters of North Attleboro, then the ratepayers, 3 years ago, and I'd like to continue on another 3 years to bring you what you have now is reliable, affordable, clean, safe electricity. We can only do that if you go to the polls on Tuesday, the 30th, and put your mark next to my name and vote for me again. I will work for you so hard that we'll bring you back reliable electricity. And thank you, Bob, for those kind words. I just want to continue on, moving on with the electric company and serving the people in North Attleboro, the ratepayers, and continue with if there's any overage where we can only make a profit of 8%. So any overage would go back to the ratepayers. That's where it belongs, either the ratepayers or back into the electric company itself. I appreciate Peter Gay and North TV, Megan Miller, thank you. The two panelists, Mike Kirby and Paul Healy. And Bob, thank you very much for being part of this debate tonight. And please go out and vote and make sure you vote for me. Thank you.
First off, thank you again for hosting this. This is a great opportunity to be able to get out in front of the citizens of North, especially in these challenging times with COVID. I was fortunate to have great mentors growing up as coaches and my scout leaders and men of character and principles that I wanted to be like. I'm running so I hopefully can give back to the community like my mentors gave to me. I'm doing this so I can hopefully make a difference. I must say that we're not necessarily in a bad place with the Park and Rec Commission, but we always have to strive to be better and make things better. We can't just stay still, or people will pass us by, and we need to continually improve. What's the role of the Park and Rec Commission? I think we must help build and foster a sense of community. I think we do a good job there, but I think there's a lot of room for improvement and getting ample more people involved. I think the question about the theater and the arts is a great example of how we need to really expand our role. We have to continue to foster and build that sense of community. We need to provide opportunities for everyone, not just the youth groups, not just the adult softball leagues. We need to have ideas and bring our teenagers in, moms and dads, seniors. We need to have a total town approach, a total approach to everyone. I think it's important. We want to make sure that we continue to grow and make North Attleboro a special place. And that's one of the things I found growing up here, not growing up here, but living here for the past 15 years. I think it's very important that we continue to make this a special place and continue to foster that sense of community. Please know that I'm committed to this role. We must work until the job is done and done right. I will give it everything. There are bound to be some tough times ahead, especially with the financial COVID and the financial resources. I think that we need to continue to work on this. It's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, but I think we can't give up and just say, oh, we can't do anything because of this. We have to actually turn it on and do more. Let's not lose focus. Let's continue to grow and build the program. What are my goals? If I am elected to the position, I want to continue to work with the commission and the town manager to build and strengthen the relationships in town, to move the commission forward, to move Park and Rec forward. We need to look to expand and find new financial resources. That's going to be critical. It's critical now, and it's going to be critical even more so in the future. We need to continue to build upon the strong and all the past people that have been in this position, and continue to build on what their legacy is and what they've done to the North Attleboro and do that. And lastly, we need to make sure we have fun, that we as a commission have fun, that the kids in our town have fun, that the adults and everybody has fun. Again, I'm excited to be here today because it's a job that I want. I want to contribute back to our community, take this program from good to great, and make sure, and I ask for your support on Tuesday, June 30th. Thank you.
I want to thank you for moderating tonight's debate, along with Mike and Paul for their questions. There's been some positive momentum from the change in town government with the charter passing. On the town council, there's a mix of fresh new voices, along with some experience from the Board of Selectmen and different committees and commissions. I will bring another fresh voice to an elected body, along with having a background and experience that makes me well-versed in the issues and challenges that a Parks and Recreation Department faces. From my perspective, there have been recently some fiscally sound decisions and policies adopted by the previous town manager, and our current town manager seems to be sensitive to looking ahead to expanding our economic fortunes once we're back to a normal budget process. Expanding the revenue is a must for North Attleboro for us to make an even stronger commitment to Parks and Recreation. The number of recreation and programs and facilities that North Attleboro currently has reflects the values that our town and community and families have. If elected, I promise to keep that value first and foremost with my fellow commission members and the Parks and Rec Department. North Attleboro seems to be in a better fiscal position than most neighboring communities. Hopefully we'll be able to recover more quickly, and the impact on long-term needs for the Parks and Rec Department won't be substantial. We should be thinking ahead on a master plan for our Parks and Rec facilities. I will not hesitate to address that issue necessary to reach that goal of long-term improvement. And I really like the things that John said about that as well. Often Parks and Rec departments get bogged down in trying to stay ahead of the game, one project at a time. I'll be a strong teammate with my fellow commission members, the Park and Rec director, and the community in achieving the goals of each project. We should bring the same energy and cooperation when it comes to looking ahead on a master plan and realistic goals such as the PATH project I mentioned before that our director is advocating. I want to commend our Parks and Rec director for what seems to be an approach that, even with all the current restrictions in society, he wants to provide as many opportunities for participation as we possibly can. That reflects the best value we can have in the quality of our parks and athletic opportunities for kids and adults. The opportunities for participation for as many as we can is invaluable. I'll be an effective teammate with the local recreation organizations who work closely with the town each year. I do not come into the commission with a background working with one or two specific sports organizations. I've coached multiple sports and supervised a large roster of coaches, whether it be working with athletes on their path to a D1 scholarship or elementary kids learning how to dribble with their head up. I have a lot of fun with all of it, and I look forward to doing that in the commission. And I'd be very happy to get everyone's vote. Thank you very much.
First, I want to thank Talia, Jim, and Martin for a great and lively debate. And thank you, Peter, the Sun Chronicle, and WARA for their insightful questions. I care tremendously about this town, this school district, and the many students who learn here inside of our amazing schools. Over the last 4 years, I've shown I am dedicated to improving our district by making a positive impact on our students' educational experience. As the PTO president of the ELC, I strive to enhance the experience of our littlest learners in the district. When my child started at community school, I immediately joined the PTO, where I worked to provide community school When my child started at community school, I immediately joined the PTO, where I have worked to provide students with exciting and fun enrichment programs and field trips. During my time at community school, I learned of the need for a school-based food pantry and worked diligently to get a program up and running as quickly as possible to start supporting families in the school. Through my dedication to improving the lives of students in the district, I worked hard to expand the Fuel for the Weekend program to include more families and students needing just a little help. Today, we support over 125 children in the district with food and personal care items every week. I'm proud of what I've accomplished over the last 4 years here in North Attleboro, but I know I can do more. If I'm given the opportunity to have a seat on school committee, I will continue to work hard for every student and will continue to bring positive experiences to the students of North Attleboro. I respectfully ask for your vote on June 30th for the North Attleboro School Committee. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak tonight, to be included in the debate. Looking back through the minutes of the committee meetings for the last year, except for the questions that I posed to the committee, I didn't find one voice from the public at large. It is no wonder because of how the public is treated. The way I have been treated tonight by committee members, calling me unhinged, ignorant, don't know what he's talking about. I posed many questions at the meetings I attended. The only response I got was no response to any question, even the simplest questions. This is no way to treat the public. It's no wonder there's no public participation in the committee meetings. I don't think it's anything to be proud of. I think they should be a place where the public is encouraged to come and participate. If elected, I would stand for smarter choices, responsible spending, and transparency. I've been pushing to make the minutes available in a timely manner after these meetings, not a month later. I've tried to access the minutes of the meetings lately for the remote meetings so I could keep up with what's going on in the school committee. The minutes aren't there. I can't find them. I can't keep up with what's going on. This should not be the way we do business. This is not the way the school committee should do business. I think there should be transparency. I think the public has a right to know what's going on, when it's going on, not afterwards. I addressed some problems in the past with the school committee that got me involved in the first place. Some of the committee members have been on for over 20 years, yet we have these ongoing problems with facilities. They only mentioned building a new high school. There's also the roof on the community school, which was an emergency to replace this year, but of course isn't getting done this year because of their incompetence. Same thing with the bleachers, another $1 million. Instead of just repairing the bleachers, they had them torn down, and it's going to be over $1 million to replace them. They're playing games with the public because the bleachers that are proposed are only half the capacity of the bleachers that were there. I say, vote in someone new. Let's make some progress with our school committee, not the same old stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. You know, when someone comes before the school committee and all they want to do is yell and scream because they got a chip on their shoulder and just angry at the world, I don't really give them much the time of day. So let's start with that. The second part is, as far as the minutes were concerned, when Martin came to the school committee meeting, complained that the minutes weren't available, Kevin O'Donnell sat next to me, pulled out his phone and showed them right there. So, you know, you can say what you want, but I'm going to set the record straight and I'm going to tell you the truth. Over the course of the last 3 years, I've attended countless school events, attended PTO meetings, promotion ceremonies, obviously until this year. I've offered policies that are promoting greater transparency within the school department, and we've been reviewing the entire curriculum this summer in order to prepare for the fall. I think we need to be sensitive to the distress that the students, as their world has been turned upside down, what they're going to be walking into. I certainly didn't mean to accuse anybody of being a racist. And Martin, I don't think that you have a racist bone in your butt. But I do think that we as a community can be more sensitive to the concerns that have been expressed within our community. Public service is exactly that, it's public service. Serving on the school committee as a public servant, I'm proud of my public service. I appreciate that the people of North Attleboro have repeatedly sent me to serve another 3 terms, and I hope it's because I'm working really hard. Might not be making all the right decisions you might make, but I do work very hard. I show up at every meeting. The only meeting in the last 3 years I didn't show up for is I had a medical appointment I could not put off. That's the only meeting that I didn't attend. I thank Sarah Stone for her commitment to the students and feeding so many students this year. I've already mentioned Talia. Martin, I wish you all the best. But for as far as I'm concerned with the people of North Attleboro, I too am asking for your vote. I'm prepared to put the time in. I'm prepared in order to be your public servant for the next 3 years, and I too ask for your vote. Thank you.
Peter, thank you again to all of you for this opportunity tonight and allowing us to speak to the people in town about who we are and what we stand for. When my family and I moved here in 2012, I immediately became involved in Yes for North, which was the first override effort. Since then, I've dedicated significant time over many, many months to stabilize the future of our town through a Proposition 2.5 override. Once we finally achieved that goal, I turned my sights to the school system, and I wanted to ensure that we're doing all we can to utilize our resources responsibly so that we can continue the forward progress of our town and of our school system. I bring to the school committee the perspective of a parent with children in the elementary and middle schools. I know that the decisions that we make today will impact not only my children, but all children in the North Attleboro public school system for many years to come. I do take the comments that have been made to heart that we're all basically just a bunch of sitting ducks on the school committee. I think anyone that says that doesn't actually know the work that goes into being a volunteer on the school committee. It is hours of preparation, of reading materials, of reading emails, discussions with the superintendent, with other administrators. It's going to subcommittee meetings. It's meeting with attorneys, and there's a lot to it behind the scenes, and there's a lot that goes into the decisions that we make. It's much more than what you just see at the meetings on TV. And I do take every vote that I make, and I put my best effort into that to make sure that I am voting on something that I think that most of the townspeople will approve of, because I know you're not going to please everybody. So I hope that I've shown that I will work hard to represent you and your family, and I ask that you vote for me, Talia Yourell, on Tuesday. Thank you.